UFC 263 will feature two high-profile championship rematches and the first non-title, non-main event fight set for 5 rounds. The event has momentous potential and we have everything you need to know about UFC 263. If you don't want to miss any banger, watch the video. I'm Simab and you are on the UFC book. The main event features Adesanya's return to the middleweight division against Marvin Vettori after a botched attempt to win the light heavyweight title. The thing which is getting every UFC fan excited for this fight is the controversial result of their last fight. The pair met once before in April 2018 with Adesanya earning a split decision victory, ironically enough in the exact same arena. Adesanya holds the record of 20 wins and 1 loss. He got his only loss to the light heavyweight champion Jan Blachowicz back in March 2021 when he decided to move up to the light heavyweight division to become double division champ. Though he's still undefeated in the middleweight division, Vettori is the only middleweight to defeat him on a judge's scorecard. Adesanya became the UFC champion in just 2 years after his UFC debut by knocking out Robert Whittaker in a great fashion. It is now his third title defense and he said he is going to finish Marvin Vettori.
I'm going to finish the job. I'm going to finish the job. Last time you had hope. You had hope because one dumb judge gave you that fight.
Now if we talk about Marvin Vettori, he is ranked as number 3 and holds the record of 17 wins and 4 losses. He is on a 5-fight win streak and didn't lose to any fighter after getting that split decision loss to Adesanya. Vettori has been gunning for Adesanya since their first bout and he was almost too much for Adesanya to handle them. Since that loss, Vettori has been on a tear and is a complete fighter. We will see how Adesanya adjusts to the move back down, but the odds clearly miss on how competitive this fight will be because Adesanya's comprehensive loss to Jan Blachowicz showed there is a ceiling to his talent. In the co-main event, Deiveson Figueiredo will defend his flyweight championship against Brandon Moreno. The two men fought to a draw this past December. Figueiredo made a quick turnaround for the first fight, facing Moreno just 21 days after a successful title defense against Alex Perez. Moreno also fought on that card where he TKO'd his opponent in the last second of round 1. The Wild Brawl was an instant classic and UFC president Dana White called the fight the best in the UFC flyweight history. Figueiredo holds the record of 20 wins and only 1 loss like Adesanya. Figueiredo faced Joseph Benavidez for the vacant UFC flyweight championship in February 2020. He weighed in 2.5 over the title fight limit, so he was not eligible to win the title, though he defeated Benavidez by a TKO in round 2. Figueiredo rematched with Benavidez for the vacant UFC flyweight championship in July 2020. Figueiredo won again, this time by a technical submission in the first round. This win earned him the flyweight title with the Performance of the Night award. While Assassin Baby is number 1 ranked Mexican flyweight, he is a former WFF and LFA flyweight champion and holds the record of 18 wins and 5 losses. Brandon Moreno was cut from the UFC roster after a 2-fight skid, but he won the LTA flyweight championship next year and secured his UFC return. He earned the title shot by winning 3 straight and took the champ to a draw as a big underdog. Now he will try to defy the odds again in UFC 263. The rematch should be just as violent as their first encounter. The heavy-handed Figueiredo will need to be mindful of Moreno's grappling, but this could be the fight of the night easily. Another 5-rounder set for the night is going to be the first non-title and non-main event 5-round fight between welterweight talents Leon Edwards and Nate Diaz. Fans' favorite and the winner of the Ultimate Fighter 5, Nate Diaz is unranked but still one of the most hyped fighters in UFC who doesn't usually fight unnamed fighters. He holds the record of 20 wins and 12 losses and was the first one to beat Conor McGregor in UFC. Diaz may only competes every 18 months or so, but it is always must-watch entertainment when he steps into the cage. He has the most fight of the night bonuses in UFC history. I don't know if it was Diaz who requested 25 full minutes to work, but it certainly benefits him because of his gas tank. For no other reason than to give Diaz a better chance to win, the UFC made this fight a 5-round bout. UFC would love nothing more than for Diaz to face Kamaru Usman because Diaz is a marketable fighter, but he is in way over his head against Edwards, who is overdue a shot at the champ. Leon Edwards holds the record of 18 wins and 3 losses. He is number 3rd ranked welterweight and one of the most composed and technical athletes on the roster. It was 2015 when he fought Kamaru Usman and lost the fight by decision. Now after 6 years, he is on a 8-fight win streak where his 9th fight against Bilal Muhammad went no contest because of his unintentional eye poke. He is considered the most unlucky fighter of UFC because after getting his 8th straight win over RDA back in July 2019, he was scheduled to face Tyron Woodley to get a title shot. But the event was cancelled due to COVID. Then UFC announced Leon Edwards vs Khamzat Chimaev 3 times. Every time this fight got cancelled because of different reasons. He at last faced Bilal Muhammad to improve his streak, but the fight ended in a no contest. Now Dana White announced the winner of this fight is definitely getting a title shot. So it would be very interesting to see if he really is unlucky or he's gonna kick out Nate Diaz from the light. There is one more welterweight bout in the card, number 12th ranked Bilal Muhammad versus number 9th ranked Demian Maia. To be honest, for me it is the least interesting fight of the main card, but it is still watchable because Demian Maia has been competing for UFC since 2007. He is a former middleweight title contender against Anderson Silva and welterweight title contender against Tyron Woodley. Maia's MMA record is 28 wins and 10 losses. He has defeated 8 of his opponents with landing less than 10 significant strikes. On the other hand, Bilal's MMA record is 18 wins and 3 losses. Bilal is on a 4-fight win streak. He is a former TFC welterweight champion but doesn't have many records in UFC. But still, Maia is definitely not going to be the most difficult fight of his career because of the big age difference between both fighters. Let's see if the old man wins or the younger one rises. The fight that will kick off the main card is the light heavyweight bout between number 15 ranked Jamal Hill and number 14 ranked Paul Craig. Jamal Hill is a rising star and undefeated with the record of 8 wins and 0 losses, whereas Paul Craig holds the MMA record of 14 wins and 4 losses. Craig lost 4 of his first 7 UFC fights, but now he's on a 3-fight win streak. With the light heavyweight division in a state of flux, there are not many big names in this division. So Jamal Hill has a chance to go and fight elite level light heavyweights if he gets a good finish here. Now there is a women's flyweight bout in prelims which you cannot miss because if number 3rd ranked Lauren Murphy wins, you may see her fighting for the title next. Now like this video and don't forget to subscribe. I'll meet you in the next video.